Hello and welcome to my first Animal Crossing video. So today I'm going to be doing a speed build of my campsite area. This is the area here. As you can see, there's literally nothing there. There's nothing there at all. I've never really known what to do with my campsite spot, so my tent has just always been chucked in a random corner of my town. But I finally decided to change that and show you how I did it. So I started off with some of the white log stakes in the corner here. I love the log stakes. I think they're so cute. I still am very upset we don't have white fences. There were white fences in the trailer. Why aren't they in the game? But the log stakes do make a cute substitute. So I knew from the start of this build that I definitely wanted the picnic table down. Well, it's not actually called a picnic table. It's called a log dining table. And I had it customized in the white variety because I just thought that was really like the campsite aesthetic. And also I definitely knew that I wanted some cute little mini kids tents from all the Christmas toys because they're just so cute. And as soon as I put the kids down, I was just imagining that it would look really cute if I had the actual campsite in the middle and then on either side of the campsite had one of the kids tents. So naturally I had to run to Nooks to move my campsite, but because the Nooks are so annoying and don't understand how moving things work, they were like, no, you can't move it where you want to. Anyway, so I had to move it to the beach, and then we did some time traveling, and then we came back and my campsite was on the beach, and I was like, well, I suppose while I have it on the beach, I'll just figure out what I want to do with the rest of the area just in case I decide that I don't want it in the middle there, and then I can get the spot exactly right, and then I won't have to deal with the annoying Nooks being mean and stealing all my money again. I did grab the camping kit so I could check how things looked as I moved things around, and I was quite set on this mini tent, big tent, mini tent setup that I had mentioned. I'm always really annoyed by this like bit of land right here. Like, look how annoying that is. Imagine how much cuter this area would be if that was part of the beach. And so I was like, this area of grass is just making my whole campsite setup look so uneven. It's making me very distressed. But then I was like, oh, I can just put a tree here. So I put a tree there, and yay, cuteness. We love trees. And then I put some trees in the back and I was like, this is so cute. This is gonna look so sweet. And then I put the tent down and then it was like squashing all my trees, and I was very upset because I liked the trees. And then I moved everything forward and put the tent down, and I was like, no, that doesn't look as cute. That doesn't look like I imagined it. I don't like this. I don't want this. And then I moved all my things back and started to move my trees around. And then as I was moving everything around, I had this sadly timed revelation that it would look so cute if I had the two baby tents next to each other and the big tent in the corner. Just because of the size difference, that would just look cuter, which meant I was going to be moving my campsite back to exactly where it started, which would mean that I would have just spent 100,000 bells for nothing. But I was like, okay, I'll just wait a bit. I'll just make sure everything else is good in the campsite. So I started moving around my trees again and making sure, like, look how cute that little area looks there. Like, the little tents are nestled in the trees. And I was thinking, you know what would look really cute in front of these tents? A pond, a little round pond. So we got my terraforming tools out, started building that little round pond. I couldn't decide how big I wanted it for a while, but in the end I decided on the size that you can see here. Once I had done that, I felt like the area was in desperate need of some bushes, and then I put a little decoy duck by the pond. I love the decoy duck. It's such a good little item. And then I started working on my log table area. I got out my second log bench and it was the wrong color. But then I was like, oh, you know what would look cute if I had some little baby bears sitting there on the log table and they can be enjoying some camping food. I messed around with the placement of the picnic table for a while. I really couldn't decide where I wanted it. I pretty much just moved it back and forth like 17 times, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to focus on the rest of the area and I'll come back to that when the other bits are done. I knew I definitely wanted some butterfly models and some mush furniture in there. This mush stool I just couldn't get to work. I just couldn't get it to look cute. But I did like the butterfly stand there. I tried a bunch of items in front of the pond, and when I put the garden lantern down, I was like, oh my gosh, that would look so cute at the back there by the tents. And then I tested out my campsite and then it squashed a tree. So then I tested out my campsite again and I was like, beautiful. That is exactly where I want it and exactly where I had it in the beginning. So that was 100,000 bells wasted. I was feeling a bit stuck at this point, so I just wanted to see what the bushes looked like all grown up. And so we did some time traveling. Time traveled to a few days later where they would be fully grown bushes. First of all, I had to check who was camping in my campsite today. It was a scary bear. Sorry if she's your favorite. Then after seeing these bushes fully grown, I decided I didn't like them there, so I dug them up and put them in my pockets for later use. So then I was looking at my lantern again. I was like, you know what would look a lot cuter than that lantern is a mush lantern, because it's like tall and it would just like fit so nicely in there. So then I was looking at my table again and trying to decide what it was about it that I wasn't happy with, and I moved it around a bit, and in the end I was looking at the baby bears and I was like, you know what, you're not it, you're not what I want here, I'm sorry. It's okay though, because I decided to put the baby bear in front of the pond, and as it was there I was looking at the little tent in the background. I was like, it would be so cute if the bear had a t-shirt that matched those pillows, and I was looking through all the patterns, and unfortunately they didn't have a grey horizontal stripe pattern, but they did have a grey vertical stripe pattern, and I was like, good enough, we'll go with that. Not exactly how I imagined, but I think it looks cute, fits the vibe. I also put down that paper kite butterfly, and I think that looks really cute there. I love the butterfly models. I tried with my mush stool again, but I could just not get it to work. So I tried moving my bushes around a bit, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks good. I like those bushes. I was feeling happy about the bushes, but I still wasn't feeling happy with this log table. I really struggled with figuring out the picnic table. I could just not figure out what to put next to it, what to put on top of it, or like where to place it or anything. I thought that some bushes might look cute next to it, but I didn't like how that looked. But what changed things was when I put the birdhouse next to it. And then suddenly I was like, okay, I want the birdhouse back there. I'm going to put the mush lamp next to the table, but the birdhouse I need to customize. And then when I was customizing it, I realized it had a red roof, and I was like, oh, that's so cute, because that matches the little flags at the back of the campsite and that like lantern there. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I need more red accents around this campsite. And then I decided I would change the duck to like the red version, and I would change the bear's shirt to a red shirt, and I would change my mush lamp to one of the spotty red ones. And then I put all the red items down, and I didn't like it. I was like, no, it looked so much cuter before. With the exception of the birdhouse, I did like the birdhouse, I think because it was right next to like that red lantern of the campsite. But the other items, I was like, no, I'm changing them back to white, so that was a bit of a waste of time and customization kits. But then was the task of trying to figure out what to put on this picnic table. There are so many cute little items in the game, and I went to my inventory and I just like picked a whole lot of things that I thought could work, and I spent a while putting them on the table, seeing how they looked, moving them around to different spots. But in the end, I didn't like it when the table had lots of things on it. Even though like all the little items were cute on their own, it just looked like really cluttered and too much. So in the end, I just ended up with a single book, an open book, and then the white stack of books. And I was happy with that. I thought that fit the vibe. I thought that looked really cute. And then it was time for the final step, and my favorite step of any build, which was adding all the patterns and the flowers and the weird, just all the little decorations that like bring the whole thing together. I did have to keep moving the furniture to put them in the spots I wanted, but that was alright. And I just really randomly placed weeds everywhere, because the weeds are just so cute. Like, they don't look like weeds in the traditional sense. They just like look like cute little grass and stuff. So I put them everywhere to give it a more foresty, cluttery vibe. I also had some cute patterns which I placed down. So I really love this key, and I thought it was perfect for the campsite because it's like someone's left their key behind when they've left the campsite. I placed a lot of flower patterns down, and as well as that, I had this cute cutlery pattern which I thought was perfect for next to the picnic table. I kept moving around where I wanted my flowers. I couldn't decide whether I wanted lilies or lily of the valleys. In the end, I obviously ended up with both. And then it was like kind of like, okay, all the patterns are pretty much down, but this doesn't feel complete. This doesn't feel like quite right. So I decided to add a path from the tent to the beach, and I thought that would just kind of bring it all together and make it look like a completed area. Thank goodness for the increased pattern slots that allow me to have this path, because the path I use for the rest of my town just doesn't match this campsite area at all. Having said that, I'm planning on redesigning my entire town, so who knows if I'll keep with that path. But I went with the original, the path design for the campsite. I ended up moving the picnic table just so I could make the path a bit more curved, because I don't like them being like completely straight. They don't look as cute. And then I was like, boom, that is done. And then I adjusted adjusted all the furniture to fit around the path, and I moved a few weeds and a few flowers and a few patterns just so it all fit around the path nicely. Then at that point, I felt like there was just a little bit too much in the campsite, so I decided to remove all the lilies. Then I added one more lily of the valley on the other side of the campsite. I was like, yep, that is a good amount of flowers. So while I was working on the path, I kept looking up to the second level to see how it kind of looked all together, and I was like, I definitely need some more trees up there. I want this campsite to feel like it's just like this little area in the middle of a giant forest. And so I went and grabbed some trees from around my island to put them up the back, and when I looked up I was like, yes, that is exactly what I want. I was honestly really happy with how this turned out. I don't consider myself very good at designing Animal Crossing areas, so I tried really hard with this one, and I was like, oh my gosh, I think that's actually cute. And I think that's one of the first times I've actually done an area at Animal Crossing and been like, yeah, this is good, I like it. I hope you enjoyed watching the process of me building this area. I am so excited about this Animal Crossing channel. I've been wanting to start an Animal Crossing channel for a while, and I'm so excited to be making this first video. I'm going to do lots of speed builds. I'm going to do some like let's play style videos. I want to visit dream addresses. I'm just going to put just, you know, everything Animal Crossing up here. So if you're interested in that, I hope to see you again soon. And yeah, that is all. Okay, bye.